Warning, this game contains a lot of flashing lights. If you are photosensitive, you may want to sit this one out. Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it is Bank Heist for the Atari 2600. And it's pretty simple. You drive this brown car around the maze. You run into these little gray buildings that look like the Kilroy was here symbol that are actually banks, and you run into those to rob them. The more you rob, the more points you gain from each one. As you rob banks, blue police cars will pop out of the banks, and you have to press the fire button to blow them up with dynamite that you shoot out of your tailpipe. Whenever you destroy a cop, another bank will spawn and you can rob it. When you rob 9 banks, you'll be able to get a gauge on the gas tank in the upper left-hand corner. You'll get a little line that continually goes up if you fill bang as you rob banks, and as you rob banks, you'll get it up to the top. And once you get it up to the top, you can take the upper path out of the 2 wraparound paths to go to the next town. You start with, I believe, 5 lives, but you can go through them quickly if you don't know what you're doing. And there are plenty of difficulties. There's like 4 difficulties as far as I can tell. Setting this to B/Novice and setting this to B/Novice, because with both difficulties at B/Novice, with left at B, the cops are not as smart and go in a random pattern. Whereas they are smart and they would. They're not going to be very smart here. And with the right switch at B/Novice, banks appear in a set order as opposed to a random one. So if you play with the right switch at B, the right difficulty switch, you can get the banks in a memorizable order, and you can just rob banks and just try to get through the game as best you can. And as you do all this, you do have a gas tank. You do use fuel. And you don't want to run out of fuel because you will lose a life if you do. And that's pretty much all that there is to explain. So, let's go! I press right on the joystick. And from here, we can just control the car. Now, you don't want to hang around the banks that you rob for too long, because the police cars will pop up and they spawn on top of you. It will hurt. Also, I should mention that there will be a lot of flashing due to the exploding dynamite. So, if you have a history of epileptic seizures, I recommend you sit this game out. And I did not follow my advice. I hung around a bank that I robbed for too long and I got busted. Now, thankfully, when you make your way through a town with the bank, with enough banks robbed, you'll be able to get an extra life once you head to the next town, which is excellent, along with a full tank of gas. And here we are at topped up, and we're on to the next town. The towns do have names. In case I have the time to mention what the names are, I will mention them. But they are in the manual, believe it or not. Also, aside from crashing into cars or running out of fuel, you also do not want to run into your own dynamite. It is possible to do that, and if you do that, you will blow yourself up, you will lose a life, so don't do it. I say as I do it. Now, thankfully, whenever you lose a life, the cop cars respawn in the middle of the maze. This can be useful, as you can get yourself an edge on any cop cars that were giving you trouble Wow, I'm not doing so well. You can get yourself a leg up on cop cars that were giving you trouble before you lost a life. And you can make it a little easier to rob some more banks for yourself. I am really not doing so well. I need to remember that I drop the... dynamite directly behind where I'm facing. Like, directly behind the back of the car. In relation to where I was facing. Like, I nearly lost all my lives on the second town. And I want to make sure... I want to see my way through a full loop. I keep making this mistake. I need to stop doing it. And I just ran into the cop car like I just didn't care. And I'm done. So now I have the reset and move again. Thankfully, the banks will always be in the same place. I'll have a full set of lives. And yeah, you... No! Let's try that again. I really need to stop messing this up. Because this is embarrassing. And I really needed to time my movements. There we go. Doing a little better here. And once you have bank memorization, or bank locations memorized, I don't know why I said bank memorizations there, that sounded weird. How did I drop it there? Once you have bank locations memorized, you can easily get into a groove with this game at its lowest difficulty. And you can make it so that you can easily get out of dodge when you need to. Now, you do gain points when you enter a town with a full tank of gas, as well as an extra life. And your score will be down there at the bottom center of the screen. And I was panic pressing a little there, but I managed to pull through. You get money for not only robbing banks, but also getting through towns with a lot of banks robbed. And also with a good enough amount of gas. And I really pushed it there, and I should not have pushed it. I pushed it there too. Once again, do not push your luck. Do not push your luck very much in this game. The game will make you pay for it. And you are not a very smart cop, are you? No matter, I'll just go through here. And now, we are in our third town. And I thankfully have not died as much as I did the first time around. Which is good, because I do not want to die a whole lot. And, well, I trapped myself there. I should have gotten out of that corner. Yeah, there will sometimes be rather cramped corners and even some dead ends in the mazes. If you rob a bank in any one of those kinds of locations, get out of that location immediately. Just hit the bank and get out. Because those are places where you do not want to stick around when when cop cars are involved. And I'm now trying to do all this while sound like the Swedish chef. Not a good sound or look. I'm almost tempted to sing the Swedish Chef, but for your sanity and mine, I'm not going to do it. And now we're on the 4th town. Once we get through here with a full tank of gas, yikes! Thought I had turned completely left. I did not. Once we go through here with a full tank of gas, with the ability to get a full tank of gas, we will loop all the way back to the first town, but things will get a little bit more difficult. The cop cars do get a little bit faster. Matter of fact, they're faster now than they were then. Come on. That's it. Okay. Get this. Get out. Alright, and we need to stay away from the upper path. The upper path will let you switch between towns, while the lower path is the usual Pac-Man style warp to the other side of the level path. And we have it. We have enough to do all this and go back to the first town. It is possible to rob less than 9 banks and go to another town, but you will really put yourself at the disadvantage if you switch towns way too frequently because you're not going to have the gas. You're just going to be running on fumes, and you're going to be panicking, probably, and losing a ton of lives, which is not a position that you want to put yourself in. Not something you really want to do. So don't do it. And I am doing so much better here. And I am running rings around these cops. Although one of them will eventually outsmart me, I think. Well, not here. Not today. And now we're back in the second town. By just going right on the upper path, you can instantly enter the next town, but I always wait to make sure that I have the... Oh! He got me. I make sure I have the gas to make the journey before I do it. I'm surprised he didn't run into me there. That would have been nasty. And I just suddenly remembered my own advice. Also, you can only blow up one police car at a time. So keep that in mind when you're doing all this. And nice to see that there is a bank right there that I can rob on the way over here. And I am almost done with the second loop. Ooh, I was not paying attention. I thought I made my way through the loop there, and I didn't. And I really want to be careful as I go through here, so that way I don't blow myself up. Okay. And this won't be the first video, because as I said, there are other difficulties, and I want to show those off, have a good old time. 80s style, 80s Atari style, with the rest of the difficulties. They do have their own little strengths and weaknesses. I guess you could say it that way, if you wanted. And as much as I would like to get that bank, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather just play it smart, whenever possible. Okay. And, well, I managed to hit a cop car right there. Sometimes I'm getting 30 points, sometimes I'm getting 50. Not sure what leads to that. Maybe it's because it's closer to me than usual, and that gives me 50 points. Maybe it's just random. I'm getting either 10, 30, or 50 off of the cop cars. And I just managed to lure them over there. And I really, really panicked right there. Can you blame me? Well, I just managed to make that work. And you're just going to go ahead and go that way. And I don't know how I managed to hit that. But I did. And we are running out of gas, I can tell because my car's flashing. But we are now on loop 3. I'm going to keep playing until I lose all my lives, because I know that I'm going to do it eventually. Especially with the speed that some of these cars are coming at me in. Seriously, that is respectable. They are persistent. I will give them that. And I should have concentrated more on driving. Game sure showed me. Yeah, don't try too hard to fight the cops in cramped corners. The game will make you pay. And sure, I'll get bonus money. Hey, 10,000. $10,000. Would have been worth something in the time that this game was released. 10,000 is a good score for an Atari game because it means you're doing something right. How am I doing that? How in the world am I doing that? Because I shouldn't be. Shouldn't be doing that well. But I've had the odd LP blessing here and there, as opposed to the LP curse. I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get. And you're dead. And I thought that would get him. It did not. But I have enough gas to get away with, and get away I shall. And this is probably a bad idea movement-wise. I say as I find out it was a bad idea movement-wise. Yeah, they're not going to come my way. They're just going to go in a circle here at this point. And they got me there. Do have to admit. Got him. Got him. And if I know what I'm doing, I should be able to get to another bank real soon. I am doing very badly here. Well, at least the game gave me a little bit of gas because I was almost running out. And I'm about ready to lose all my lives here. Fine. But I think I can make this work. Get out of there. Alright. If I can somehow get through this, I will have completed 3 whole loops of this game. That is not something that I have done before. This is my best game with both switches on B. / Novice. I've never expected to get this far, and I almost completed loop 3, but you know what? 14,248 points. That's not bad at all. And I have been playing for 20 minutes. That is not bad for both switches on B. I could have made it to Loop 4 in one video on 2 tries. This game can be a little troublesome to figure out, especially some of the nuances that can make it easier to play through this game. But once you figure stuff out and you just kind of buckle down and get used to how to do things and pay attention to how you move and drop dynamite and where you are and all that, and pay attention to your gas gauge too, you shouldn't have a problem getting a high score in this game. So there are other difficulties. You do have smart cops and banks showing up in random order. But I'll show off the difficulty switch differences starting in the next video. So join me next time where we play with the difficulty switches and see what happens. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!